Have you ever been talking to an AI chatbot? You're deep in a conversation and then, poof, it completely forgets what you were just talking about? It is so frustrating, right? Well, today we're going to dive into exactly why that happens, and we'll explore the brilliant solution that's turning these forgetful tools into genuinely smart partners.
This quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? I mean, seriously, imagine trying to work with a colleague who every 30 seconds asks, hey, what are we working on again? That's exactly what it feels like with most AIs, and it's the core problem we're going to tackle today.
And this is the perfect way to think about it. For a split second, an AI can seem like a genius, right? It'll give you this perfect response. But without any memory of the context or your goals or what you said 2 minutes ago, that brilliance just vanishes. It's like having an intern with amnesia. Fantastic for a single one-off question, but totally useless for a real ongoing project.
So let's really put a name to this thing. What we usually think of as AI being dumb or failing, well, it's not really a problem with its intelligence. The real issue is a lack of memory.
And you know the consequences all too well. You have to repeat yourself over and over. You ask it to help you write a blog post, and maybe 10 messages later you say, okay, make that a little shorter. And the AI comes back with, shorter? What are you talking about? It's because every single turn in the conversation is a fresh start, which makes any real work, like planning a trip or writing code, feel almost impossible.
So the big question is, why does this amnesia exist in the first place? And, more importantly, what's the cure? The good news is, this isn't some unsolvable puzzle. In fact, the solution is super elegant and kind of borrows an idea from our own brains.
The cure is all about creating a layered system with three distinct kinds of memory. So instead of thinking about memory as just one giant shoebox you throw everything into, we're going to break it down. Just like us, AIs need different types of memory for different jobs, from remembering the last thing you said to recalling your big project goals from a month ago. Okay, this table right here, this is our roadmap for the rest of this explainer. You've got short-term memory for the immediate chat, working memory for the actual task you're doing, and long-term memory to build a real, persistent relationship with the AI over time. So how do these layers actually work together? Let's dive in and break down each of the three so you can see exactly what they do and how they team up to create a conversation that actually feels, intelligent. All right, first up is short-term memory. This is the most basic one. It's really just the AI looking back at the last few things you said in the chat. So if you say, make it more dramatic, the AI needs that short-term memory to know what it is. This is the absolute foundation of any conversation.
But, and this is a big but, there's a catch. This short-term memory has a size limit, what developers call a context window. As your chat gets longer and longer, the AI literally has to start forgetting the beginning of the conversation to make room. So for any tasks that's even a little bit complex, short-term memory on its own just isn't going to cut it.
And this is where working memory comes in. Honestly, this is a total game changer. Think of it like the RAM in your computer, but for the AI's current job. It's not just storing the words you said, it's storing the state of the task, what you're trying to do, which steps are finished, and what needs to happen next. Let's go back to our blog post example. The working memory is keeping track of the fact that your topic is distributed caching, you've already made an outline, and right now you're on the introduction. This is what lets you say something like, actually, let's skip to the section on Redis, and the AI knows exactly what to do because it understands the whole project, not just your last sentence. And finally, we get to long-term memory. This is what takes an AI from a simple tool to a true personalized assistant. It's the AI's ability to remember key things about you, like your writing style, your current projects, your preferences, not just for one chat, but over days, weeks, even months. Now, here's a huge misconception a lot of people have. They think good long-term memory means the AI should just save every single word you ever say to it forever. But that is a massive mistake. That approach is inefficient, and as we're about to see, it's not even the most effective way to do things. The secret here is that smart systems don't just store everything, they use retrieval. So instead of forcing the AI to read an entire library of your past conversations every single time you ask it something, it intelligently searches for and pulls out only the most relevant bits of information for the job at hand. And the way this works is pretty slick. First, the system flags and saves an important piece of info, like this user prefers a concise technical tone. Then it turns that fact into a string of numbers, an embedding, and stores it. Later, when you ask a new question, the system looks for the stored memories that are most similar to your question and feeds only those little nuggets of info to the AI.
So this brings us to a really fascinating and kind of counterintuitive point. If you want to build a great memory system for an AI, you have to get really, really good at one thing: forgetting.
This quote just nails it. A small, super relevant memory is way more powerful than a giant, messy, noisy one. The real challenge isn't about how much you can store. It's about how well you can curate what you keep.
And this slide really separates the signal from the noise. A smart system should absolutely remember your preference for a technical tone or the details of that video series you're working on, but does it need to remember you asked for the time last Tuesday or that you made a typo? Absolutely not. Smart systems are selective.
And there are clever strategies for doing this. Instead of keeping a 200-message chat log, the system can just create a quick summary. It can automatically trim away old messages that aren't relevant anymore, and most importantly, it can learn to prioritize high-value facts over all the low-value chit-chat.
Okay, so we've looked at the 3 memory layers, and we've talked about the importance of strategic forgetting. Now let's put all the pieces together and see how they form one smart, coherent system.
This slide shows you the whole flow. When your message comes in, the system doesn't just blindly pass it along. First, it grabs the recent context from short-term memory. Then it layers on the current task status from working memory. After that, it retrieves the most relevant facts from your long-term memory. And only then, when it has this complete context-rich package, does it send it to the AI to generate a truly useful response.
So, if you take away just one thing from all of this, let it be this: the biggest mistake you can make in designing AI memory is trying to remember everything. Just like people, the most effective AIs don't have perfect memories. They have useful ones. They remember what actually matters.
And really, that's the whole point. This 3-layered memory system, it's not just about storing data. It's about creating continuity. It's what finally transforms a forgetful, one-shot chatbot into a persistent, genuinely helpful partner that can actually learn and work with you over time. It's the cure for AI amnesia.